All right, then. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Multiverse. Now, if you've been following us for the whole time, which you probably haven't because, god damn, this is on day 98. But if you have, you'll know this game has gone through a lot of ins and outs. And I feel like when we first started this game, we were so innocent and fresh to the world. We thought anything was possible. Uh, I feel that way for every 500 game we've played as a subscriber group here. The next 500 game we play, we're gonna have to figure it out. Like, I don't know, because well, for one thing, I will say this: I need to not be on anybody's team, and that's what I'm going to do in this upcoming game that we have with the Surf, Turf, and Smurf. Whoop, that's not what it is. Something like that. Anyway, where you can only build a particular kind of unit. I'm not going to be on one of the teams there. I think that's a bad idea early on because in this very game, people were coming at me, and they were coming at me because they had complaints about my team. And I was like, oh no, I have to be neutral because I'm a commentator. But then the inevitable truth is I'm not neutral because I'm on one of the teams. So I think in the future, I do need to be neutral and or have low stakes games. This is a 500 player map. This is a mega map. And basically, our subscriber group took over this map. Again, I do feel sorry for anybody who came into this game not part of our core coalition. So props to Farkas and Bob who have fought their way into our coalition just by sheer good gameplay and making themselves sort of pivotal in terms of strategy for us to think, okay, it's a good idea to have them as part of our group. So that's saying something a lot. I mean, honestly, we started this game with a lot of us in various coalitions throughout the world. And for some reason, I thought that would be a good idea. But anyway, it's been fun. We are almost on day 100 now, and a lot of stuff has gone down. A lot of stuff has gone down. The most recent thing, of course, was the fact that we did lose our friend over here, Popcat, who was a really strong ally for a long time, and then dropped out of the game because of a family emergency of his own that could not be refused. And so we're kind of spending time now trying to reclaim that territory. And you can see what I've done here. It has kind of doubled my territory here. You can almost see the dividing line from where down below here is all railroads, all railroads and factories. And above the line, there's some. I was actually able to take a lot of his backcountry just by walking in and taking it. He was really cool about marching his troops out of there, so it wasn't a super nightmare like it should have been to take his territories. So that's kind of what we're doing here is cleaning up all this stuff. Woo, look at those peeps. Oh my God, I hate that word. Every once in a while it just sneaks out and I want to punch myself in the face. Peeps. Look, guys, peeps are marshmallow fucking confections in the shape of little chicks that you eat and then you hate yourself for eating them. So anyway, you can see what I'm doing here. I'm kind of bombing along here with my aircraft and just trying to take out the remainder of these. I've been making heavy tanks as I've gone, just feeling like that's the best thing to kind of sweep. I'm going to try to sweep out the British Isles here. And my eventual goal is to kind of just eventually slowly retake all of this stuff from Popcat. And then we're going to attack into the mainland here. Now, we do have a couple people who have reached out to us. Jebediah has reached out to us and said, hey, how about if I'm in second place and you don't kill me? And I think that's going to happen because if you look at our player stats here, especially since taking on Bob over there, we're close to 1,500. And I feel like what's going to happen as I continue to capture the British Isles and develop this region, and as I think Farkas is doing the same thing over here. Yeah, he's taken over a lot of Popcat's old stuff. I think if we do that and we just slowly and carefully develop morale and economy in those regions, I think we're going to get that 1,500 and win. So whoever's second or third, that's great. Go for it. That's probably going to be Super Maxi over here and probably going to be Jebediah over here as well. So we've kind of got our strategy planned out in terms of what's coming next. Bob did accept our alliance here, and he spoke very strongly for his ally here, Super Mega Maxi. Oh, it took me a while, folks, to piece that out, but I figured it out, ladies and gentlemen. I figured it out. My God, I'm a genius. But anyway, he spoke highly of this guy, said he was loyal and cool and whatnot. So we're pretty much always open for any new community members who have skill and also those qualities that we do respect. Loyalty and decency and honor and good hair. All right, so there's really not a whole lot to report. I've been having fun with this sort of takeover over here. And again, all it means to me is that I'll just have a larger area of just all railways. You should see the railways, guys, that I've got building. Let me just show you. The sheer. These are all railways that have already been built. Oh, yeah, look at those. They've already been built. But now let's get down to the area where new railway. Oh, look at that. And look at this. So supposedly from this menu, you can click on this and enable it. Let's enable it. What? Disable? Wait, what? So there's a glitch here, and it's just if you want to do it, you have to go there. You have to click on this and go there, and why? So look at these railways. These are all railways, and that's a lot of railways. And then finally, eventually, we get down to the railways. Jesus Christ, there's too many railways. These are all the railways I've been talking about that are just belching out that coal smoke that I love. Okay, here's the railways. These are I've been building for a while. They're almost done. Building. Uh-oh. Now these are ones. Okay, these are ones I've just started building. So, my goal eventually is to just have trains everywhere. Like you can't walk down the street anywhere in this entire nation. And now I've doubled the size of that nation. I'm about to take over all of England and the British Isles as well. And it's just, you can't go anywhere without a train. Like, have you seen that video of the guy who gets hit by the train? It kind of sucks. I don't like that kind of stuff. But that's what it's going to be, though. I mean, let's just face it. In my territories, you won't be able to walk to the grocery store without getting hit by a train. Okay? That's just the way it is. Also, the air will be filled with smoke, constantly coal smoke everywhere. In fact, eventually people will develop special gills whereby they extract oxygen out of the coal smoke. Oh, I love that. I love that idea. Yeah, it's probably not gills, though. It's probably more like some kind of filter. You'll have like some sort of natural filter in your neck, just like Kevin Costner from Waterworld had gills. He just developed them because that's what you have to do just to survive in this world of water. What should we call this world of water? You have to wonder, like, we got to come up with something creative to call this world that is entirely water. I'll let the creative geniuses over in artistic management come up with that. I'm trying to click on these. Most of these, are 33%. We're doing okay. So not a lot to say here, guys. We are still continuing to expand throughout the map. I'm trying to pay attention to what my friends are doing over here. We do have a friend over here in Ecuador. And it looks like he's continuing to attack up in here into America. And he's just expanding his points as well. Just expanding those points. So I thought what I would do here, this might be fun. I put together kind of a slideshow because I was bored at work. Do you guys get the sense that I don't really do much at work? Look, I do good stuff at my work, okay? It's just that there are long gaps in between. And it was funny because Edgar, who was for some reason my supervisor for just 1 week, because my regular guy he went on vacation. So Edgar was in the office and he was like, why don't you give me a rundown of what you do today? And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I had a couple workshops. And he's like, well, who attended? And I was like, oh, well, no one attended the workshops in the morning. And he's like, well, what did you do? And I was like, oh, well, I've got some side projects I work on. He's like, well, why don't you just send me a rundown of those side projects? So, I made a bunch of shit up. But anyway, let me show you what I actually did. So what I actually did was I started this game with a crew, and I decided it would be fun to make some graphics for each of the crew members, for each of the people in the crew. So here we go. And I still need Farkas. As far as I'm concerned, Farkas is now one of us. Poland here. He's been with us for a while. We caught him in the mid game. We grabbed him, and he's been a loyal ally ever since. Just Bob came in the later game, but we're going to see. He's been loyal to his friend. Good God, Super Mega Maxi, which I like that. I like loyalty a lot. I think that's something to be, respected. And Eucla was, I hope Eucla doesn't leave our community because of Papa Smitty, but Papa Smitty and Eucla kind of had a pissing contest, I guess they call it. But I hope Eucla will still be a part of our community. Come on over to our Discord and take part in games, because he's a great player. He just ran up against a megalith. It's just not even fair that you run up against this community of people who are connected via video and Discord and, relationship and all this stuff. And I think they did a great job. And they also did their best to say, hey, don't kill us. Let us be second place. But we were like, no, we want to kill people. That's why we're here. It's war. That's the whole point here, guys. So anyway, this is what I did. They moved the goddamn toggle full screen mode from up here down to a sub map under this control thing under the last. And they also made allies green, but apparently coalition mates green. It's not taken. Yeah, not in this map. I guess just in some maps, all your coalition mates turn green. That was weird. I was like, okay. Anyway, so let's go check out what I'm talking about. These are my crew. So we started off here with Benaiah. Let me go ahead and full size this. So Benaiah, he probably won't love this, but Benaiah from the very beginning has struck me as very intelligent, very intellectual. And I don't mean to say that like he's the smartest guy in the world or whatever, but I just mean to say that he's very measured, and he's very like if any one of us was Spock, he would be Spock, but he's also kind of like Spock with a heart, because he's actually stepped in and been like the reasonable person in the room during several sort of extreme situations within our community. He's always the guy that comes in and is like, hey, how about if we did this? And he has like this reasonable thing that we could do rather than be pissed off at each other. So love Benaiah. He's one of the core crew that started off the multiverse with us. Let's go ahead and go on to the next one. Oh, that's me, King Spankerton. So this is my graphic. If you don't know what this is from 30 Rock, and that is Paul Rubens, and he plays this like Habsburg king or something, but they're so inbred, and I just love, like, whoever came up with the small ceramic hand is a goddamn genius, and that's all there is to it. It's just so good, and I love Paul Rubens. I always felt like he got kind of ripped off, like he had a great show. He had 2 successful movies. He had a great show, and you catch him jerking off one time, jerking off in a I think it was a porn, like one of those porn shops or something like that you see that truckers go to. And hey man, I'm not going to judge. To each their own is what I say. Anyway, this is the graphic I made for myself because I freaking love that that sort of decrepit king figure, royal emperor / inbred. I just love it. Next up, we have Papa fucking Smitty. And Papa Smitty struck me early on when he threatened us in the multiverse. So the multiverse was this big public event that we had that was, like we were going to have all of our, a bunch of our subscribers, and they're going to join different alliances all around the world. And Papa Smitty started by telling us, because he was in my alliance, in my coalition, that if we tried to take land around him, he would attack us. And you know what? That warmed my heart right away, because I was like, this guy is fucking crazy, and I love it. So I found this image as I was searching around World War I stuff. This guy's in the trenches here. And look at him. This motherfucker, you do not want to, like, you just want to stay on his good side, right? whatever he's laughing about, you're going to be, yeah, oh, you're going to be laughing too, right? It's like, you're right, Smith. Oh, man, you just don't kill me, please. So I love this image, and I thought this would work for him. He is a bit of a wild card. He is a bit of a demon. We love Smith around here, so love this graphic for him. Next up, we have Popcat. And we lost Popcat this round, and the way he made it sound was that there was a death in the family, and he was like, I'm going to be retiring from all my games. And I've been in a few games with him now. Like, he's been one of our regulars, and he's dropped out of all the games. So this might be an opportunity for us to just say, man, Popcat, sorry, dude, like whatever happened, it wasn't, let's just put it this way. It wasn't like a great aunt who he hadn't met or seen in, 20 years who passed. It was somebody, close and important to his immediate family. So, to make you retire, like people will take a break for a week or two to go to a funeral, but this was something big. So Popcat, man, I hope everything goes all right. And hope you get through your loss, because you are one badass player. Like, seriously, he's a badass player. All you got to do is look at the multiverse and see what he did. So respect to Popcat. Next up, we do have Power of Us. And Power of Us is an Indian kid living in Australia. And so, look, I'm sorry. I'm a Deadpool fan, and I could not help but think about this kid. And if you think about who this kid is, if you know anything about Deadpool, and if you don't, then fuck you. God damn it. Go watch those movies. They're great. And read the comic books, by the way. But the thing about this kid is, if you watch the movie, is he's a good-hearted kid, and he's smart, and he's diligent, but he will fuck you up. In fact, if he's allowed to go to his natural extreme, right? Not that it's natural to him, but if he's allowed to go to that extreme that is possible, he will destroy the world. So I love Power of Us. He's young yet, but he's going to make a mark on this world. I can already tell. And so I love this graphic for him. And then finally, Zinzin. Zinzin has been a loyal and strategic ally for the entire game of the multiverse. He's been marching with us, whether it was in Africa or South America or Europe. Like, he's been there the whole time. And he's been really cool about, like, you could cut off your ally, right? You could take more territory and cut off your ally. But he's always been really cool about leaving a corridor so we can march together, east or south or west. Just a real strategic ally to have, and dependable and loyal. So, excuse me, this is the graphic for Zinzin. And as I mentioned, I'm going to have to come up with graphics for several other players. As our community expands, there's just no question about it. Raya Force is one. Bataric is another. These people carried away. Oh, he gets mad when I say carried away, because his name is I Always Get Carried. And I call him Carried Away, because that's the rest of the goddamn phrase. Okay, buddy? Okay, buddy? Anyway, I'm going to have to add to those graphics. But I want you to know, if you play these games and you're part of this community and you join in with us, as a lot of people, Oliesa is another guy who needs his own graphic. There's several people who've been playing in this community who need their own graphics. And I promise you, if you keep on playing with us, you'll get them, because I have large periods of free time at work. Don't tell Edgar, my boss, my temporary boss, while my other boss is on vacation. So my other boss, who's on vacation, he's really cool, because he basically shows up at work and he's like, "Hey, how's it going? Yeah, all right." And he, you see him, he's getting coffee, and then I go in later to ask him a question about something, and he's gone. He's just gone. And that's not just most days, that's every day. So I don't know where he goes. I don't care where he goes, because when he's not there, then, well, then he's not there, right? Let's face it. So it's a win-win for everyone, folks. It's a win-win for everyone. Uh, my supervisor gets to play golf or whatever the fuck he wants to do, and I get to make stupid 1914 graphics. Don't get me wrong. I get my work done. I do my work. I get my work done. But, if there happens to be some free time, extra bonus minutes in the day, I'll go ahead and devote them to that. So if you guys, first of all, if you think I'm a monster, let me just tell you, I went from being a junior high math teacher, working 50 to 60 hours a week. And during the whole pandemic thing, it got even worse. We were having to do blended classrooms. We're having to develop extra lessons for remote learning. And we're having to reach out to all these different websites to gather grades. Like, the whole process became a lot harder. At the same time, it almost seemed like, and I was teaching in the South, I was teaching in Arkansas. At the same time, it seemed like large portions of the population like suddenly turned against us. And all of a sudden, like we were teaching their kids this, that, or the other. And I'm like, dude, I'm just teaching the kids math, or I'm trying, So it's just, the whole thing kind of like turned hostile at the same time as it became a lot harder. So I was like, no thanks. So what I do now is, when people come into our office, I'm in Independence, Missouri. It's a kind of a small suburb, sort of outskirts of Kansas City, Missouri, where I work. When people come in, what I do is I put them through workshops, and I help them to access state funding to get trained. So one of the things we train them in is CDL. Just get them as truck drivers. CNA, Certified Nurse's Assistant, is a big one. The medical field is really big right now. IT is big. IT security is big. So basically, we're just connecting people with public funding to get them trained so that they can be, honestly, like, just employed, so they can get paychecks and they can live their lives and, I think of it as like, just be active and productive members of society. So I love my freaking job. I love it. But the fact is, there are gaps between the time. And so, so during that time, I do sometimes, from time to time, have a little bit of extra ability to devote to side projects. So anyway, that's enough, though. My God, this has gone on too long, people. If you've been here this whole time, then shame on you. You probably have better things to do. What are you doing over here listening to a bunch of bull hockey, a bunch of rigmarole, a bunch of I can't think of any more. Shenanigans doesn't fit. That's not the appropriate. A bunch of guff. Guff is one of my favorite words. All right, I'm going to tell you another story, and you can just hang up the phone right now. You can just get off the line. You can just click on this if you don't want to hear this story. But anyway, me and my friend Bobby were walking along with a friend of ours named Joey. And we hung out with Joey sometimes, but Bobby was my best friend. And Joey, we were walking along, me, Bobby, and Joey goes, "Holy shit, that's Mr. Russell, my principal." And we looked over, and there was this, older gentleman walking down the street, and we were like 15 or 16 at the time, 14, 15 at the time. And I look over, and sure enough, this guy with a beard and glasses, and he looks kind of like a tweed suit kind of guy. He's like definitely a principal, And so Bobby, my friend Bobby, he just starts going, "I love you, Mr. Russell. I love you," like just really loud, annoying. If you're familiar with Welcome Back, Kotter, it was that guy. What's his name? Warshak. Anyway, in that voice, like, "I love you, Mr. Kotter," and then this guy, Mr. Carter, no, Mr. Russell. I replaced the actual show name. No, anyway, so Mr. Russell turns and looks at us, and we're like, holy shit. Like, he starts walking towards us. So we all just break. We all just split and run away. Me and Bobby are running side by side. And there's a church over by us. And this church has bushes beside it. And so we kind of like duck in under these bushes into kind of like a window well. that's sort of kind of built into the side. It's like an old stone church, and we kind of like behind these bushes, and we're like ducked down. We're kind of like giggling. We're like ducked down, hidden away behind these bushes, and Mr. Russell just straight up, just like parts the bushes and says, "You guys come out of there. Come out of there right now." And we were just like, "Oh shit, we are so fucking busted." And so we came out of the bushes, which in itself, no one should ever have to say that line that we came out of the bushes. Nobody should ever say that to anybody else, ever. Anyway, we came out of the bushes and Joey had already been caught. Like Mr. Russell's like a fucking ninja of student capturing. And he had already grabbed, he had Joey somehow in his custody, and he like ushers me and Bobby out, and I'll never forget it. He was so pissed off. His face was red. He's like, "Oh, I don't have to take this kind of guff from you kids." And so that's why I told you that whole story, is because he used the word guff. Guff. And I'll never forget that. All right, guys. Thanks for checking in. I'll see y'all next time. Adios, amigos.